billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, the noble and universal greeting of peace, the greeting that has been used by the prophets and messengers of our universal creator, Almighty Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukr to Allah, we are here, alive, at a higher vibe than before. Vibe means light. Light is nur. And so that's what it's really about, When you cleanse your heart, you're letting go of the lower vibes, you move up. You are emitting more nur. Everything works much more easily and flowingly when you experience a higher state of light, nur, it's peace. It's salam. It's even shalom. It's the same thing. So I'm very grateful to be here another Friday. It's the 4th of October 2024. Shukr to Allah. While we are here on the planet, some of us can actually live here purposefully, and we can live here aware of what our priority is. So the Quran says we are here to remember Allah, we are here to prostrate and draw closer. We are here to cleanse the diseases in our hearts. We are here to be in a higher state of existence, or have more light, nur, a higher radiance. So you can begin to see, for us who are on this path, when we were in a lower vibration and when we are in a higher vibration, how it feels. Peace feels lovely. Peace feels wonderful. Before I lived in fear, I lived in guilt, I lived in shame, I lived in worry, I lived with obligation, I lived feeling stressed and strained. Life was a bit of a struggle. There was a lot of suffering. Before guidance came to me, before I recognized guidance and I received guidance. So there's a potential and possibility for you and for me and for all of humanity. Allah believes in humanity's potentials to live as believers with Iman in our hearts, to conduct ourselves honorably as what I call empowered adults, living with Amal, like the Prophet did, And we can all live a life of tayyibun, a life wholesome. You don't have to live deprived. You don't have to live without, in lack. You don't. I didn't know that I could live in my spiritual power. I didn't know that there was peace that is possible for all of human beings who recognized the guidance and received the guidance. I didn't know that there's a thing called security. To be a believer means you are one who is secure. I didn't know that what security was, to experience security, to feel worthy, and to experience non-neediness, to not be controlled by the world, to not trying to control the world. I didn't know any of this, that I could experience being really free. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that I could not only come from my spiritual power, but my personal power. I didn't know what I was capable of, that I could actually be a person who plays a beneficial role in my life and the lives of other people. I didn't know that. I didn't know. There was I would write a book, I would do these podcasts, I would do workshops, I would benefit people in South Africa, a few people from around the world. Who knew that I would be called to Portugal, in Europe, to a conference, and I would be able to launch my book there with the, European university. Who knew? Who knew? I was just a guy on feeling very insecure, stressed and distressed, worried, and I was controlled by the world, trying to control the world. I was very easily affected by things, worry, stress. I was needy. And I was behaving in a way that's very destructive. I'm talking about 95, 96, up until there, when guidance came to me, at my lowest point, and I received guidance. I didn't know what was waiting for me in the world, and how wonderful life can be, and what I can live and experience. And I didn't know what was waiting for me in the afterlife. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I was living like most people, unaware, unconscious, living subconsciously, living powerlessly, no spiritual power, controlled by the world, trying to control the power, no peace, no allowance. I didn't know all these things, that there's peace, there's patience. I didn't know that, human beings have been given the ability to experience being godly. We can experience the essences of our Creator. I didn't know any of that there's a thing called peace, salam, the name of Allah, one of His names, one of His attributes, one of His nature. So I didn't know. I didn't know, right? I didn't know that the people around me didn't know. I didn't know that how other people were living was just as diseased as I was living, that we all were living in a diseased state. I didn't know that I didn't know. So I'm sharing with you, honestly, the people I hung around with, the people that I knew, they were all as clueless as I was, even especially the gurus and the pundits, very clueless about the state of light and nur, when you cleanse your heart and you move to a higher level. I didn't know. I didn't know there was peace, real experience of peace. Peace is not like, okay, I'm not angry anymore, or I'm going to bite my lip, I'm not going to fight with anybody, I'm angry but I won't show it. That's not peace. Or somebody is not upsetting me anymore and now I'm at peace. That's not peace. I didn't know. Peace doesn't mean there's no war in the world, so there's peace. Peace doesn't mean that because there's no drama and trauma, there's peace. That's not peace. That's relief. That's a state of relief people are living until something happens. Because peace can be experienced no matter what. Patience can be experienced no matter what. Allah is with those who are patient. Allah puts tranquility into the hearts of the believers as He expands us in faith. I didn't know that there's this quality of being that the Quran says Allah breathed His Spirit into us. I didn't know that we have the Spirit of Allah in us. I didn't know. Nobody told me. That I can experience the wonderful nature of Allah, the essence of Allah, the nature, the name of Allah is the nature of Allah. That Allah says, call upon me by any of my beautiful names. So call upon me by any of my beautiful natures. Like call upon me by Ar-Rahman. Call me Ar-Rahman. Call me the compassionate. That means like become aware of Allah through becoming aware of His compassion. Now, I didn't know I can experience being compassionate. I didn't know I can experience being loving. Allah is Al-Wadud. I didn't know any of those things. See, when you are spiritually diseased, when you're in low vibration, one of the ways is that you're controlled by the world. You're trying to control the world. You're very affected. You don't feel free. You don't feel assured and reassured. You feel very unworthy, trying to avoid being unworthy. You're trying to... let's say, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I want to be a good mother. I want to be a good sister. I want to be a good brother. I want to be a good father. Nothing wrong with being good. It's just that you really mean, I don't want to be bad. 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 So people live like that. Their behaviors are reactive, compulsive. They are afraid of being bad. So they try to do good. They're afraid of saying no to others. So they say yes. They can't say no. And they just doing things because of compulsion. And when you say yes, like I'm afraid to say no, so I'm not saying no, I'm saying yes. That's not a real yes. It's not a real yes. Because there's no choice there. There's no freedom there. This is, Allah is the non-needy, alone the independent. We can experience being dependent on Allah and not needy on anybody. I didn't know any of these things, people. I didn't know what I was. I didn't know what I was. If you asked me what I was, I would tell you all human role things. I am the son of so-and-so. I am, this person who does this thing in this world. I'm this person who owns this thing. I'm this and that. All my identities in this world. But I didn't know what I was. That I'm the blessed and benefit creation of Allah. And that's not just, oh, what shall I say is the right answer? Teach me what's the right answer to give in a situation. Rote learning. No. That ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That I am a witness. I am one who bears testimony. It is my experience that there really is none worthy of worship. Allah alone actually is, and is actually worthy of worship. You get what I mean? It's not a belief. It's not an idea in my head that somebody said, if somebody asks you something, say this. I'm having an awareness. I'm having an experience that all human beings can have if they receive guidance. Anybody who receives guidance, they can actually go into the potential of being a believer. You and I can experience ourselves in this world either remaining in a state of unconsciousness and forgetfulness, having forgotten Allah, with Satan, or we can claim refuge with Allah and go beyond being prompted by Satan, the whisperer. The ideas we have in our minds are whisperings of Satan. But the truth that we observe is beyond the mind and the whisperings of Satan. So somebody might tell me, Ashraf, just tell me what to read. Just tell me what to read. Tell me how many times to read it. I'll do it. Tell me what to believe. I'll believe it. I'm not a guru and I'm not a pundit. I'm not here to dish out religious expertise. I'm the expert, I know more than the Prophet even. The Prophet said, I don't know. Of these things, I don't know. But the gurus and the pundits, they're like, I know more than the Prophet. I really know because my guru told me and this is right and you must follow me. Not humble. The gurus and the pundits like, we know. No, you can't know. They call themselves names that only belong to Allah. The wise, Hakim, Al-Alim, the all-knowing. You can't call yourself that, Hakim and Alim and all that. So the Prophet even didn't call himself that. Called Allah then. You know what I mean? So Allah alone is the all-knowing. And He has given us the ability to become aware. In fact, I was reading in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 last night when Allah asked the angels to give answers and they couldn't give answers. And Allah had taught the Prophet Adam what are the names of things, and he was able to give answers. So Allah has given humanity awareness. We can become aware, or we can remain worshipping Satan unaware. And if you're unaware, you live subconsciously, you live unconsciously. If you're unaware, you're not experiencing peace. So who knew that I would be living as a believer, this potential that exists for humanity, that exists for you, that guidance would come and I would receive it and I would be a believer with Iman in my heart. Actually, Iman in my heart. Remember the Quran said to the Bedouin Arabs, they had said their kalima, they said, we believe, we testify, there's only one God and all that. But then the Quran says, do not say you're a believer. You're only one who's submissive in religion. Your faith has not entered into your hearts. Your heart is still diseased. Remember, the Quran says this is a book to guide humanity to heal the diseases in the heart. It doesn't say this is a book that people who have diseases in their hearts just read over and over again, maintaining that disease. It says this is a book for those who reflect. This is a book for those who reason. You know what I mean? So the Quran says the lowliest of human beings, the lowliest of creation, not only human beings, are those who will not reason. You see, when you live as a child, tell me what to believe, tell me what to do, tell me what to think, and you are in blind worship, blind following of people, you're the lowliest of creation according to the Quran. You will not reason. Allah has given you, humanity, the ability to reason. I have been given, like you, as a human being, it is our birthright, the ability to reason. Now, when you worship Satan, Satan doesn't want you to reason. And that's how we know we worship Satan, because we're not reasoning. The Quran says, reason with each other in ways that are good, with wisdom, reason, use reason with wisdom, it says. Don't say to people, you're stupid, you don't know anything. That's not helpful. You're a non-believer. That doesn't, it's not helpful. You reason. You invite people to truth. You can do that. you can let them know, this is the message, this is the guidance. You and I have a potential, and those of us who actualize that potential can live at a higher level in this world. If you have faith in your heart, the Quran says, and if you live with honorable conduct, then whether you're a man or woman, there is for you a wholesome life, a life without deprivation, a life without living perverted, a life without indulgence, a life with satisfaction, and a blissful return. We return. From Allah do we come and to Allah do we return. There's a blissful return. So, who knew? I didn't know that there's a thing called guidance. Most people don't know because they are in their own, they don't know that there's Satan to claim the refuge from with Allah, that we are whispered to. Who is not whispered among us? The Quran says Satan stands on the path and he comes to human beings from all directions, rendering us ungrateful. We deny not only the favors of Allah, we deny Allah. You see? So the Quran says, which of the favors of your Lord do you deny? 31 times, Surah Ar-Rahman. And I think it's because you deny your Lord. It's talking to the people who say, we believe. We are aware of our Lord. You understand? We are aware of our Creator. The Quran guides us to God consciousness. Become aware. Remember God. Or you shall live a depressed life. The Quran says, those who fail to remember their Lord shall live a depressed life. So I was living a depressed life, other people are living a depressed life. We don't know we're living a depressed life. We think because everybody is going to the mosque, everybody is doing this, everybody's got a scarf on their head, people got beards on their face, they're Muslims, whatever it is. We don't know. We're modified Hindus. We're not aware of it. This is from India, from how it came through, and we're still living with Indian mentality, Indian culture. We just, made it make sense to us. We're doing our own thing, which is not really the real thing to do. You know what I mean? So guidance is available to us. Guidance is available to us. And I have chosen to receive it. And this is what I'm sharing with you as a believer to others who are fellow believers. The Quran says keep reminding the believers, for reminding benefits the believers. Now again, don't say you're a believer because you have a belief that you have a believer. You can have a belief that you are a believer, but that doesn't mean you are a believer. You see, a believer is one into whose heart Iman has entered. The heart is assured in the remembrance of Allah. So I'm telling you about my journey. You understand? And you can see how's your journey going along as you are living in this world. And so the most important thing is salam. Allah's nature is peace. Salam. And assurance is a characteristic of salam. So those who are aware of Allah, in their hearts will experience assurance. Those who believe, Allah increases the heart of the believer in tranquility. And as He expands them in faith. So it's really about how you feel. Now feelings is not to be confused with emotional. Because you get a lot of fanatics who are emotional. People get very emotional in the name of religion. Why are you telling us that? We're going to kill you. Why you call the Prophet that? We're going to kill you. Get emotional. Fanatical. Let's kill people in the name of religion. Now the Quran itself says, that make peace with people and to each their own. There's no compulsion in religion. Let those who believe, believe. Let those who disbelieve, disbelieve. The Prophet was told, to you your way, to me mine. But you get people who, in the name of religion, they get fanatical. They're all fanatical, right? So I'm not talking about religious addicts here. I'm not talking about religious compulsive people. I'm not talking about people who are very, very emotional. I'm talking about human beings, everyday human beings, who the guidance has come to. Remember, the Quran is talking to humanity saying, this is a book that is a healing for the diseases in the hearts of human beings. This is a book for all human beings. The Quran speaks to different people in different places. It says believers sometimes, then it speaks to the non-believers other times. He speaks to the hypocrites other times, speaks to different people, But generally the message of the Quran is to humanity, to remind humanity what happened. That after Adam and Eve, with the Satan incident, we forgot God and we're living in a state of forgetfulness, in a fallen state of forgetfulness, and only those to whom guidance has come and received the guidance, they will no longer be in a state of forgetfulness. They will remember God. They will no longer be insecure. They will remember God. Their hearts will experience assurance. So this is what happens when you're a believer. When you choose to recognize, I am in requirement of guidance, because I'm not really feeling my heart feeling assured. I only feel good because I got a job. If I didn't have a job, I'd feel very bad. I only feel good because I got a husband looking after me, or a wife looking after me. Somebody's with me, then I feel good. If they're not there, I don't feel good. I'm living my life dependent on somebody, thinking that somebody is making me okay. Or I'm living my life making people depend on me, thinking I'm making them okay. Or I'm living my life thinking, but I can't depend on anybody, and I got to depend on myself, and me and what I do for me is making me okay. So if you are in that kind of what I call phantom self, that's not really who you are. Because the you that you are is the one who is aware that you are the creation of God, the favored creation of God, the blessed creation of God, the benefited creation of God, the privileged creation of God. See, now when I was living in my mind, I was like needy. My crisis started when I was dependent on a person, and the person said, I don't have anything to do with you. That was like, oh, I need her, you know what I mean? I need her, and she's gone. And that's when I realized I actually don't need her. I have Allah. I asked Allah for guidance. But Satan kept telling me, you need somebody, without them you're not okay, and all that sort of thing, right? So when you live your life, and you are, before guidance has come to you, your heart is diseased. You don't even know that, right? You think, no, I'm fine and all that. I got a lot of money. I got a lot of husband. I got a lot of wife. I got a lot of children. I got a lot of house. I got everything I need, you're thinking, right? But you don't know that peace, security, being a believer is better than anything in this world. When you are aware of your Creator, you experience that assurance in your heart that nobody can give you. Not money can give you, not a job can give you, not a person can give you, that you can't give anybody this kind of assurance, and you can't give yourself this kind of assurance. Everybody's living in a state of unconsciousness, right? Until guidance comes to them. Even the Prophet was said, you were in the darkness, and we found you in the darkness, we guided you into the light. Prophet ﷺ. Even Abraham was lost and confused, saying, he'll find his way. Then he realized the one who created him will guide him, and he was inclined to truth, and then he also awoke, as a believer. He submitted, that phantom self. And he started becoming aware and experiencing, And when somebody is a believer, that's what happens, there's Iman in their hearts. Don't say you're a believer, for Iman has not entered into your heart. Only, there are others who say they believe in Allah in the last day, but they don't believe in Allah in the last day. They lie to Allah, and the believers thinking they lie to others, but they only lie to themselves. Surah Baqarah, chapter 2. They only lie to themselves. And in their hearts is a disease. They don't feel good. In their hearts is a disease. And that disease is expanded. I was one of those people thinking I believe in Allah in the last day, all emotional and fanatical and all that, thinking, oh, you see me, I stand for my clan, or I stand for my tribe, or I stand for my cult, or our sectarianism within. All that is clear sign that you're not really aware of what you really are. Well, we are Sunnis, no, we are Tabligis, no, we are Wahhabis, no, we are Shiites, we are this kind of that, this goes deeper and deeper. No, you're not any of those things. What you are, that you don't know that you are, that you might have a belief that you are, but you might not have the awareness of being, is a created being, a blessed and benefited, cared for and considered creation of God, who's caused and continued by God in the care of God. You might not know that. You might not be aware of that. I was there. You might be thinking, I'm in the care of my husband or wife. I'm in the care of my parents. I'm in the care of my children. I'm in the care of my employee, like employment, and my boss. Others are in my care. I'm taking care of everybody. I'm taking care of my employees. I'm taking care of my children. I'm in my own care. I'm taking care of me. You might not realize we cannot take care of ourselves. Nor can we take care of anybody. Nor can anybody take care of us. We are created beings. We already are in the care of God. We're just unaware of it because we forgot God. You see? So people are just living their lives and they don't know, what's cutting here, what's going on here. They don't know about nur and light. They don't know about the Spirit of Allah breathed into us. They don't know about living from a higher level of perspective, a higher level of awareness, perceptions. They don't know that while you are here, there is a'udhu billahi minash shaitan. They don't know. They're following religion. They got their ideas. They got their gurus and their pandits, or they have beliefs about God, that God doesn't exist. But really in their hearts is a disease, and that disease is expanded. They are astray, they're left astray. They perceive it not, the Quran says. Don't expect somebody who lives as a munafiq, who is self-deceiving, to hear this and say, oh yes, I am self-deceiving. No. They lost. Deaf, dumb and blind. They are lost. Who is as lost as a person who doesn't know they are lost? You see, once you know you are lost, I became aware that something is wrong. That means I wasn't lost. And I didn't blame anybody else. Because our relationship with our Creator has got nothing to do with how much money we have or don't have, how much somebody loves us or doesn't love us, whether we have children or not, whether those children are obedient or not, or whatever it is. Whatever it is in the world, our relationship with Allah has got nothing to do. Our security, our God consciousness, our peace, our salam has got nothing to do with anything created. You see, only a person who is aware of Tawheed, that there really is only Allah. We are the creation of Allah. There's no Allah and us. We submit and realize that Allah alone is the actual. We came into existence. Allah didn't come into existence. Allah caused us to be in existence. We are His creation, in His care. That we are not as important as we think we are. The world is not as important as we think it is. We have exaggerated ourselves. We have exaggerated the world. We have exaggerated like we are the people who can take care of us and each other. That's how you know you are in the fallen state. That's how you're in the fallen, forgotten of Allah state. When you are thinking that my security has got to do with a man, woman looking after me, children obeying me, parents supporting me, friends not betraying me, having food to eat, water to drink. My security has got to do with this world, getting a job, healing a disease, feeling good in this world. My security has got to do with, if you're still there, that means and you realize, hey, I'm getting it now. I'm among the lost. When Ashraf told me this first, I got angry. When Ashraf told me this first, I thought he was mad. When Ashraf told me this first, I asked, where's his beard? You know what I mean? But now truth requires no qualification. The Quran says it. The truth is self-evident. Truth needs no qualification. When truth is hurled against falsehood, it knocks off its head. That somebody who's really like wanting to reason, use the God-given ability, somebody who's not with Satan, who wants to remain with Satan, lost in this world and not receiving guidance. People who receive guidance, they start realizing, hey, I'm reasoning. Hey, I'm looking at this. Yeah, I've been living my whole life thinking I'm feeling bad because, somebody doesn't love me, because I don't have money, or, I'm not the way I want to be. I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm not losing weight. I'm not exercising. I can't feel good. Others are, not exercising. I can't feel good. Whatever it is, there's war in the world. Whatever it is, I can't feel at peace. I can't be patient. No. There's nobody and nothing to blame. You get what I mean? Our relationship with our Creator is our relationship with our Creator. It's got nothing to do with who we are in the world, who others are to us in the world. It's got nothing to do with what we do in the world. You see, only conscious people will understand what I'm saying, those who can be reasoned with. Unconscious people will go straight away into confusion. What? Because they are in a brainwashed state. They're not really God conscious. They worship religion, they worship rituals, they worship beliefs, but they have no clue of Allah, and so they cannot worship Allah. Only those who are really aware of the universal creator can worship Allah. You can't be a child just saying, I worship Allah, I worship Allah, I worship Allah, and thinking you are actually worshipping Allah. You must be aware of Allah. And when you are Allah conscious, then you will know that Allah is worthy of worship. You have to be aware of Allah. So nobody is stopping us from becoming aware of Allah. It starts off with, in my heart, there is a yearning and a desire to become aware of my Creator. Not to become aware of religion, not to worship religion, not to become aware of who's my guru, not to worship my guru. You know what I mean? I want to be loyal to my guru. See, it's that I want to become aware of truth. Hanifa. You got to be truth. A name of Allah is Haq. Committed to the truth. Hanifa. One who inclines to truth. The way of Abraham. Peace be upon him too. You see, do you want to actually become aware of your Creator and have a relationship with your Creator? I'm not asking you, do you want to become religious? Do you want to become a whatever, identity? Do you want to become a Sunni? Do you want to become a Tablighi? Do you want to become a Wahhabi? Do you want to become a Shiite? And whatever else there is in the world that I'm not aware of. I'm not asking you that. Are you that? I'm asking you who wants to become a believer. The potential as a human being to use reason. The potential to think and reflect as an adult and experience Allah consciousness. Who wants that? Because that potential is available to humanity. Allah has given us that potential, stands for that potential. Allah believes in us, that we can. He has given us the guidance, that we can receive the guidance. The Quran is a book of guidance, guiding us to guidance. You get what I mean? He wants us to be guided. I don't know if anybody got that. Some people think Allah wants to punish us. No. We were lost in darkness, in ignorance. We're lost in darkness, in ignorance. Allah wants to guide us. What does it tell you? He is compassionate and He's merciful. So it always comes back to A'udhu first. That I understand that my mind is distorted in its perceptions. I can't trust it. I understand that my heart is diseased because of Satan whispering into my mind and my heart. I understand that. Everybody starts off there unaware of God, unconscious. Everybody is in a fallen state. Everybody is insecure. Everybody is in a low vibration, and so am I. Every human being that was born with a mother and father is in a low vibration. You have to develop yourself spiritually. Not just join a religion, not just accept some ideologies, not just say you believe and you don't believe. Every human being has, as an adult, has a capacity to actually become aware of their Creator and relate to their Creator. And if you don't, those who fail to remember Allah, theirs will be a depressed life. If you remember Allah, you'll experience Allah remembering you. So now I know right in this moment, because I'm aware of Allah and I worship Allah, because I'm aware of Allah and I praise Allah, because I'm aware of Allah, I trust in Allah, because I'm aware of Allah, I'm aware of what He has given to me, I'm thankful to Allah. Because I'm aware of the power of Allah, the privileging of Allah, I invoke His forgiveness. Because I'm aware of Allah, I am invoking of patience with Him, for Him to open the way for me beyond where I am to a higher reality. Because I am aware of Allah, I'm aware of His potentials and possibilities He's given to me. I'm thankful they're already mine, that even though I didn't claim it, it's never withdrawn. I'm thankful that there are these human potentials and possibilities, and I choose the highest potentials of joyful expression, peace, and enjoyable experiencing as powerfully as I can. That means Iman, Amal, Life, Tayyibun. I'm aware of Allah. I'm aware that right in this moment, I am aware that I am His creation in His care. Because of Him I am, and because of Him I continue to be. I am aware. This is not ideas in my head. I'm saying it because somebody told me to say it. I'm actually aware in this moment that it is because of Allah I am, and it is because of Allah I am blessed. It is because of Allah I am continued, and I'm continued to be blessed. I'm aware of the blessings of Allah. I'm aware that right now Allah is aware of me. I'm aware that right now Allah is closer to me than my own jugular veins. The Quran says through the Prophet in the Quran, through the revelation that was shared by the Prophet, that when the believers ask about me, say, I am indeed near. I'm here. I'm here. Allah is closer to you than your own jugular veins. Allah will never fail the believer, that if you invoke me, I will surely respond. The key word was there, believer, right? So a lot of people are invoking Allah or making dua or hoping that they're making dua, wishing or thinking that they're making dua. But Allah tells us in the Quran, I am indeed near, closer to you than your own jugular veins. Those who invoke me, I surely respond. Let them respond to me too. Means like, let them, Allah is aware of us, He's attending to us. And can we begin to recognize that? Can we have a relationship with Allah? I say my first relationship is with Allah. I am happy with Allah. I'm very happy with Allah. Because some of these people, I'm not happy with that girl, I wanted to marry her, and this and that and all that, and she didn't agree, her parents were not happy about it. I don't think I was the right kind of Indian caste, whatever. You know what I mean? So, this is the thing. This is the thing. Although I was Islami and she was Islami, but not the same caste. India kicking in again, right? Modified Hindus that we are. The caste system was still very prevalent and operating alive and well in South Africa, sadly. And sometimes in certain areas gaining momentum. It doesn't matter to me. My heart is being purified and cleansed. That's all that matters. I'm bringing to Allah a cleansed heart, a purified. The Quran says, it doesn't matter your wealth and your families. Neither will your wealth nor your children avail you. Your family, that woman can't avail me. You know what I mean? Nobody can avail you except those who bring to Allah a purified heart. Now look at me now. You know what I mean? That time I was finished. Oh my God, please bring her back. What am I going to do without her? I'm so embarrassed. I've been dumped. Oh no. Now look at me. Let her go. Go to heaven. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I'll see her there. Anyway, we pray for everybody. So my point being here is that you have a potential and possibility to actually be aware right now that you are the creation of Allah in the care of Allah, that you're a favorite creation of Allah. Right now you can be aware that the earth is spinning for you. You don't need anybody to spin the earth. Your heart is beating. You have eyes to see. All this is the favor of Allah. That if you try to count the favors of Allah, they're innumerable. Countless. That, we've been given by Allah. The ultimate favor is being created human beings. And even though we forgot what the favor of being a human being is, how privileged we are. Some of us don't look and see the difference between human beings and animals. I was asking in a recent program, what is the difference between human beings and animals? So, yeah, human beings can make choices, animals can't make choices. But not all human beings make choices from security is the question here. That human beings are different from animals, but human beings can be different from each other in terms of their level of awareness. The Quran says the aware and the unaware are not the same. The believers and the non-believers are not the same. So, as human beings, we can live as believers. We can live as people who are God-aware. We can experience right here, right now, that we are the creation of God, in the care of God, we're taken care of, everything is taken care of us, that we are in a universal support system. There's a system operating that doesn't depend on us. The earth spins not because of us. You're going to get up tomorrow, the sun is going to be there by the will of Allah. The air is provided for us to breathe. Everything is maintained on life on earth. The trees grow, the plants grow, there's animals, there's food to eat. All that is because of Allah. We're secure now. We have this. But people, when you are in this world, and I'm a person, and I'm a this, and I'm that, and this man, this woman, this money, this job, then you can't see. You can't see that you can't see. You know what I mean? You're not aware that you are spiritually blind. Deaf, dumb, and blind. They can't see. The Quran says. The Quran says it matters not whether you tell them or you don't tell them. They are not going to see. They are deeply lost. You know what I mean? So you know who I'm talking about, people like that and all that. Can't get through to them, and neither should you try. But you invite everybody, but don't try to change anybody. So right now, I'm aware. I'm actually aware that I'm a creation of God, a favorite creation of God. I'm blessed. I'm given humanity. And I can reason and animals can't reason. I'm choosing to reason. Guidance has come to us that we can see what we've been given by Allah. We can be grateful. We have the guidance that has been given to us. We're shown how to relate to our Creator and have that relationship of happiness with God. That, God is the faultless and the blameless. You can blame your parents. You can blame your children. You can blame your spouses. You can blame your family. You can blame yourself. But one thing a believer is aware of is they can't blame Allah. Allah never did anything bad to us, nor will Allah ever do anything bad to us. You know what I mean? Allah is the fair. If you know Allah, you'll know that Allah is the fair, and Allah is the just. And you will know, if you know Allah, you will know that Allah is truly forgiving, and you'll be very happy. And you know Allah, you know that Allah will not only protect you, but progress you if you want. You can experience being protected and progress, but He'll prosper you. You can recognize Allah is the forgiving, the forwarding, the favoring, the fulfilling, not just the fair and the just. When you become aware of Allah, you feel very secure. You feel joy, spiritual joy. And that's what I'm talking to you about today. That peace is the result of being aware of truth. Allah did nothing bad to us, will never do anything bad to us. That Allah is not only the perfect that we can rely on and trust in. And, it's not like, what if Allah forgets to cause the sun to rise tomorrow? What if Allah forgets to, make the trees grow? Allah is the perfect, don't worry. I feel joy when I think about that. I have nothing to worry about. Allah has never harmed me and will never harm me. Allah is the just. And not only is the just, He is the forgiving. This is all reasons that the believer is aware and feels good. That, we are guided out of our minds and Satan worship into a higher level of consciousness. We have our uzu, that there's a refuge, and we require a refuge, and we know we require a refuge, and we claim that refuge. And we're going beyond our mind, beyond that phantom self, the things I know, and we're humbling ourselves. We know that we don't know. We know that only Allah knows. We know that no human being knows. Even the Prophet said he doesn't know. Of certain knowledge he has not. He knew what he knew. He was aware of what God guided him to be aware. He was a messenger, guided with the message. What was told to him, he told to us. He didn't make up anything. He shared it. Amazing human being that he was, the world's most honorable character, an exemplar of what it means to be humane, was the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, this is a situation. People don't know they require refuge. They're living their life. They're unaware of the power of our uzu. That, what, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that even though I am astray, but Allah is a refuge. Allah is my refuge. I'm happy. While I'm astray, I'm happy because I have Allah as my refuge. And He's guiding me. Allah wants me to come closer to Him. Allah is not saying, hey, you guys went off, get lost, don't come anywhere near me. Allah is extending Himself as our only refuge. Other than Allah, we have no refuge. Other than Allah, we have no friend, the Quran says. Other than Allah, we have no helper. I get it. No, I'm turning to a family. Our family, we can turn to them. Whatever. You can't turn to anybody, really speaking. You can only turn to your Creator. So I'm happy with Allah. He's guided me to Him. I've submitted. Allah is my refuge. I'm aware that while I'm astray, I don't have to feel bad and guilty. I am in the compassion of Allah. Yes. While I'm still astray to the degree that I'm astray, I'll have Allah to guide me. As Allah guides me, as I'm interested in guidance through learning, growth and development, because that's what we're here for, spiritual development, psychological, spiritual development, experiential. We're here to learn. The Quran is telling us how to be as human beings, believers, the potentials, iman, amal, how to live. And if you have iman and amal, whether you're a man or a woman, yours is assured a tayyib life, a tayyibun life, and a blissful return. So, nobody's expected to be secure when you come here, and nobody's expected to be, living with amal, and nobody's expected to be open to having a tayyib life, because all are forgotten of Allah, all have forgotten. And so even so, we all have forgotten. Don't feel bad, don't feel guilty. That's where you start. And we're happy Allah is compassionate. You see, those of us who are into A'udhu, we recognize Allah is compassionate. Truly Allah is unconditionally compassionate. Allah's compassion has got nothing to do with us. I mean, if you look at the Quran, you look at the Prophet, you look at Islam. I'm not talking about Islamism and their understandings. I'm talking about the truth. Abraham, the prophets, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad. If you look at them and what they gave humanity, what they brought to humanity, is a favor of Allah. It's the mercy of Allah. If you begin to understand that Allah is merciful, and He's not turning His back against us even though we turned our back, you start feeling very peaceful. You start feeling very relaxed. That guilt that you feel that the gurus put in you, that fear, that all that stuff, you start realizing Allah is merciful. Allah is not threatening. Allah is not unfair. Allah is the fair and the just, but also the forgiving. Allah is not the unforgiving. You know what I mean? If Allah was unfair and unjust and judgmental, not compassionate and unforgiving, then you can not feel peace. You get what I mean? But if you become aware of Allah, if you a'udhu, and you really want to have a relationship with your Creator, where you become aware, Allah will guide your heart. And you will be guided to compassion of Allah. This is like the second step. A'udhu is the first step. Second step is Bismillah. I begin with the awareness of the wonderful nature of Allah. Allah the compassionate, Allah the merciful. I let His mercy reach me. I let His compassion reach me. I release my judgment against myself. I release my judgment against other people. We are all the creation of Allah, and Allah is compassionate to all His creation. And we had nothing to do with it. We can't say, I was such a nice creation that Allah couldn't help Himself. He had to be compassionate to me. It's not because Allah is compassionate. It's because of me. I'm such a holy man. I'm such a holy auntie. Whatever it is. I have made Allah compassionate. See, you can't make Allah compassionate. Allah is. You can't make Allah, and you can't make Allah compassionate. Are you with me? Are you getting this? That Allah is. You can't make Allah, and Allah is compassionate. There's the peace of God right there. You understand? That we are astray, but Allah is compassionate. He didn't blame us for going astray. He's calling us back to the path, the straight path. He's championing us along the path. He's cherishing us. He's calling us to the path and cheering. Come on, you can do it. Remember me. Remember me. I'm here for you. I'm near you. Look at the message of the Quran. It's compassion to humanity. It's not like He's telling you, if you don't do your prayers, I'm going to punish you. No, that's the Guru and the Pandit's usual narrative. Why are you bad and all that? Look at Allah. Don't listen to the Guru and the Pandit. Turn to the Quran. Turn to God. Become aware of God, the compassionate, the merciful. How wonderful. You can't make God be. You can't make God be compassionate. You can't stop God from being. You can't stop God from being compassionate. There's nothing you can do to stop the compassion of God upon you. But what you can do is deny the compassion of God upon you. That's what you can do. Now, when you start realizing the truth, and you start realizing, okay, so we all are astray, there's still learning, growth, and development, but there's compassion, and now we are choosing to learn, grow, and develop. We can have Allah protect us, progress us, and prosper us. And you step along this path from standing on compassionate ground, and you move forward. That's what I've been doing all these years. From that peace, there's more peace. That I want to live with that awareness of Allah and experiencing of His essence. That I want to experience the peace of Allah, the compassion of Allah, the patience of Allah. Allah is patient with me. I can be patient with me. I can be patient with you. Allah is at peace. I can experience being peaceful. Allah is compassionate with me. I can be compassionate with me. I can be compassionate with you. Allah is merciful. If I become aware of Allah and His relationship with me, I can have that same relationship with myself, my body, my life. And I can have that relationship with others and be nice as believers to be with others who have that relationship with Allah, with themselves, their bodies, their lives, and their relationships with us. That's why the Quran says believers must marry believers. It's not a club that Islamis must marry Islamis, which is what usually happens. It's believers are to marry believers. You know why? Because believers have a first relationship with Allah. And they have that second relationship with themselves and their lives. And they are progressive people. And then they live with other progressive people. Learning, growing and developing from the time, the guidance comes to them. Learning as individuals, learning in a couple relationship, getting closer and closer to Allah in a couple relationship. Get what I mean? So, how wonderful it is. I did nothing to make Allah and make Allah compassionate. I did nothing to make Allah be compassionate to me or to you. We can't. We don't have that power. And we can't stop Allah from being compassionate. We can only keep ourselves from being aware of Allah and being aware of His compassion. We can keep ourselves from peace. We can keep ourselves from a great joy as we go forward and invoke His forgiveness, invoke His forwarding of us to a higher being, becoming, relating, responding. That we can learn, grow and develop, but from Allah awareness, aware that we are astray, aware that His compassion is upon us, feeling good, claiming that refuge and drawing closer and closer, working towards greater iman, working closer to greater amal, working closer and closer to greater tayyibun in this world and His blessings in the hereafter. I say it as a peace consciousness, a power consciousness, a prosperity consciousness in this world, a vice of Allah who receives. If you're thankful, you get more. If you're not getting more, you're not thankful. It's not that Allah is testing you. People say, Allah is not giving me because He's testing me. But the Quran says, if you're thankful, I give you more. This is the foolishness, the hypocrisy that goes on in Islamism, not in Islam. Don't confuse the two. So, I end with this, that it is a great thing to be able to have the opportunity while we are alive to develop peace consciousness, power consciousness, prosperity consciousness, for it opens us up to a paradise consciousness in the world beyond. If you don't choose to experience peace with God, that's the most important thing: spiritual well-being, unconditional peace, unconditional joy, unconditional assurance. If you're not feeling that, if you haven't established your relationship with your Creator, you are a loser. Because if you're not in your autonomy with your Creator, if you're not feeling free, then you won't freely express yourself as an adult. You won't be an authority. You won't use your reason. You won't relate at a higher level. And if you don't do that, you won't then be authentic. You won't be honest with yourself about who you are, what you like, who you want to be with, what you want in your life. You'll just hang around with the low company, low quality people as a low quality person. You live a life of deprivation. You'll keep yourself from Allah's good in this world. And if you do that, you'll keep yourself from Allah's good in the world beyond as well. Shukr to Allah who's guided us to the path of human excellence, who strengthens us along the path of human excellence. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise, glory and thanks is due to Allah Almighty. His choicest blessings upon our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Shukr to Allah.